Recording. Toot toot, I don't. Hi, this is Laurie.
This is Peter.
And we're with Action Heroes LA. Are we focused there? I don't know about our focus. Let me put on some autofocus here because I don't feel like. Oh, I think it's on. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, we're with Action Heroes LA with a review. Our random sporadic, occasional reviews.
Yeah, we don't usually do documentaries.
We've done the documentaries in the past. Not a lot, but occasionally we throw one in. So we have a documentary that came out on Netflix like last week.
Yeah,
just in time for the Grammys, and it was the greatest night in pop.
Yes,
was it?
Yeah, you know what? I'll say yes. I think
that's fair.
Yeah,
it's fair. So this is a documentary about the USA for Africa song "We Are the World," and the recording of how that whole project came together. And I know a lot of you kids are watching this. Yeah. Even young people are watching us. Probably don't even know that song or too familiar with it or that night or half the artists that were on.
And if you're ever going to watch documentary, this might be the one. Okay. Because it took a lot to put it together.
It did. It was considering they had one night to do all of this. It's amazing. So this is a song. This was a song that was put together after, in the early 80s, around 1984, a British musician, Bob Geldof, had got a lot of British musicians together and they recorded a single called "Do They Know It's Christmas?" There was a famine in Africa, particularly I think Ethiopia.
Yeah.
And they wanted to raise money to help the people starving in Africa. And so that was a big success. And what I found really interesting about the "We Are the World" was the American component. Then a lot of American artists got together and did that as well. Recorded a song, came up with a song and recorded it to raise money for.
Yeah. Now the cool thing about it, because I kept thinking about, how do you get a whole lot of American artists together? And the Grammys.
Well, it wasn't the Grammys, but before we get to that, this is something I didn't know about this, is it was Harry Belafonte who saw the British guys get together, and he called Lionel Richie up. It's like, we got white people saving black people. We need to get some black people saving black people. Yes. And I thought that was really cool to hear. That's the background of the story. Of course, they expanded it.
Yes.
Because it's like when you had all these big names on board, particularly at the time, the hottest artist at the time, you had Lionel Richie, who was, his solo career was just like,
because he
exploded.
He was walking on the ceiling.
He was dancing on the ceiling. He was running with the night. He was saying hello. Is it me you're looking for? He was all over the place. And I mean, of course, Michael Jackson, and they've known each other for a long time. He knew Michael Jackson since he was a kid. So all at Motown, their Motown days. So it's like, and Michael Jackson was Michael Jackson, Thriller. He
was pinch nose Michael Jackson.
He was about 3 or 4 surgeries in. 3, 4, 5 surgeries in.
I think about 5 surgeries.
I think about 5 surgeries in for Michael Jackson. So once you got those two on, then it would have been easy to get everybody was like, sign me up. But the problem is, how do you get all those people together on one night? Everybody's got schedules. Everybody got tours. Everybody has, agents and, handlers and all kinds of stuff in their ear.
And egos.
And egos, too. So I thought, and that's where the brilliant idea was it wasn't the Grammys, to hold it after it was the American Music Awards.
The American Music Awards,
right.
That's right.
They were all going to be there. All their expenses would be paid, which I thought was brilliant. Yes. They didn't have to pay for these people to come in.
And they told them, check the hawks at the door.
Check Check the Hawks.
Yeah, it's. Oh no, I'm sorry, the eagle, the other bird.
The eagle, the ego, not the eagle.
You're from Philadelphia?
Philadelphia Freedom. I love it. I don't know what. The Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, but Elton John wasn't there.
No, Elton, he wasn't there. Anyway, so
neither was Bowie.
Neither was Prince, but we'll get into that.
Yes.
So yeah, this was this is a big night. So after the award show, they got all these people who were attending that they lined up and plotted it out who was going to sing what and how it was going to go down. And Quincy Jones was there, the man in charge, and they all went to A&M studios, recording studios on the A&M lot, which is
the Muppet lot.
The Muppet lot now. It's Henson Studios, and one of the fun things about doing this review is like we've been in that studio quite a lot. So I have my where I work is near there. I'll just say that. And we've been able to go. I actually got to record in that studio, which was that particular studio I have.
I'm recorded in there.
You are recorded in there. We are. Well, we'll throw up some pictures and videos and other stuff of us in there. But we weren't invited that night though.
No,
not at all.
No.
Anyway, so they got We Are the World. It's a whole process of how Harry Belafonte kind of putting the idea out there and them putting it together. And then also having to write a song. And they had very little time to do this because Do They Know It's Christmas came out Christmas.
Yeah,
and the AMAs, the American Music Awards, are usually end of January, early February. I think they were like January 28th or something like 20. Oh, I don't know. That was it. But so to expect to write a song and get it recorded and with that many people in one night, or basically 1 week. They only had a few weeks to write a song, maybe a week to record the background music, if that, and then they had a night to get all the singing.
And in that night, they had to bring it up, learn the music.
Well, yeah. Well, these are pros, though, and But let's get into the writing process of this song because this was fun. It's a song. I'm not a big fan of this song. It's.
Yeah, but you know what? Watching this documentary,
I give it a little more respect for it. I got a little more respect for it than I've had over the many years that have passed. 40 years, I think it's passed. But I always thought it's like, what? Do they know it's Christmas? I can see us hearing that in 40 years, and sure enough, they do play that song every Christmas. You do hear it on Christmas radio. But this song, no, not too much. You don't hear it too much anymore.
Yes.
But yeah, so and one reason I was like, it's not one of my favorite songs. It's a kind of song Lionel Richie and a Michael Jackson can write in their sleep. And pretty much that's what they did. So, it's not, they didn't have to, they didn't really try too hard. It took them, they kept putting off writing the stuff until
That's because they wanted Stevie in there.
Yeah, they were waiting for Stevie Wonder to be one of the co-writers, and he never got back to them in time. So they just crunch time happened. It's like, you know what, we got to get this thing written. But then it was pretty incredible because, that melody, as long it's not, like I said, not one of my favorite songs, but that melody is instantly memorable. That hook is and Michael Jackson came up with that. And
it's just like, come Mr. Tallyman.
What? Daylight coming, we want to go home, what?
Well, it's like, actually, Harry Belafonte is the greatest one-hit wonder.
Oh, because he had one or two other songs, I think.
I don't know. Are we still singing them?
Well, that one, but a lot of people consider one-hit wonders tend to have more than one hit. But anyway. there's a whole other subject I could get into about what songs become, get picked to be the songs that are played many decades later. So anyway, there's a great story in this writing process because it is Michael Jackson, and he had all kind of pets and animals at his house. And Lionel Richie has a hilarious telling of how there was a snake.
There's a snake in my boot.
There was a snake in my boot. He and Michael were sitting down writing, and all of a sudden a snake pops up out of nowhere, and Michael was like, Lionel, he wants to sing with you. It was just like what you would imagine would happen at Michael Jackson's house. Mm-hmm. And Bubbles and the dog, Bubbles the chimp, he was like, he wanted him to hold, Michael wanted Lionel to hold Bubbles, and Lionel's like, not having it. I'm not holding Bubbles. No. So it's straight comedy.
It is. Stuff. It really is.
So anyway, it was really fun to see how this song came together. The big controversy. One of the big controversies that's been for years is
controversy.
Exactly. Is of all the big artists that were asked, they really wanted Prince to be on there, and he famously did not participate.
Right. Well, one, I think that would have been a terrible line for him to have.
Oh, yeah. On this, you find out what line they wanted him to sing and which singer took that part. And I can't hear Prince singing that line. It's like, because one of the brilliant things is they had a vocal arranger who picked all the voices to, line up and sing next to each other, sing together. Mm-hmm. And it works brilliantly. But when they come to that, they're like, okay, who would be great in this key, who has this texture of voice, and who has this one, how they contrast and make and build it up. But when it comes to that line, and that's supposed to be Prince's line, it's like, I do not hear him singing that at all. Not at all. As his key, his range, I mean, he could do anything, but I wouldn't have thought that would have been his best range.
And one thing I think he wanted to do was he wanted to do a guitar solo.
Yeah, he has to do a guitar solo.
As much as I like Prince, I could not see him
doing a guitar solo.
Doing a guitar solo on that song.
Yeah, there, like Quincy Jones said, there really wasn't any room for a guitar solo, and there really isn't. It's not a guitar solo kind of song, but so he was out. He had won a bunch of awards last night. It was kind of his he had Purple Rain. He was the biggest thing going besides Michael Jackson, and he decided he wanted to party. But at the same time, and they invited Sheila E there. And Sheila knew a lot of those people because she used to play for Lionel Richie. All those people, she probably did session work. She did session works for. She did the bottles on, I think, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, for Michael Jackson way back. She played the Coke bottles, but I thought it kind of sucked though because they promised her for her to sing a line, and then pretty much it became obvious they kept, well, you think Prince is gonna come, and she kept calling them and stuff like that. That's all they wanted her there for was to try to get Prince there. So that kind of sucked, but he wasn't having it. And as much as we're going to talk a lot about Prince because that's what we do whenever there's anything related to that.
Yes, but one of my greatest talents that was there was Stevie Wonder.
Yeah. Okay. Stevie. And that's Stevie. They were waiting for him to co-write the song, and by the time he got around to it, Michael and Lionel had finished it. But
Stevie had a good line that should have been in there. Tutu wa no no Willie Mondu.
Tutu wa no no Winona Ryder. Tutu wa no no Goody Goo Goo.
Tutu wa no Willie Nelson.
So they're in the middle of recording the vocals, with everybody. The Billy Joel, Steve, Elton John wasn't there. And Cyndi Lauper.
and remember, you have to leave your parakeet at the door.
Your ego. Okay.
Oh, that's
so
right.
Stevie decided that they should sing something in Swahili. Because it's about Africa, to the Africans who are starving.
Yeah,
and
they
he
had
came
to
up.
tell
We need to
Stevie,
sing. They trying to get all these white people to sing "Tutu Wainono, Goonie Goo Ga." What was it? Tutu Wainono. What was it? Yeah.
Mandu.
Something Mandu. Anyway,
Tutu Wainono.
They have
Willy
about as
Mandu.
much trouble as I'm having with it. So that's. Then Michael Jackson came up with Shala Shalinge to make it kind of like sound pseudo-African.
Yes.
And
Shalimar,
yeah. But it's funny. It's kind of funny because it was a little boneheaded to see Stevie Wonder, the great Stevie Wonder, and kind of this boneheaded suggestion. It's like, no, Stevie.
They told Stevie though. They said, Stevie, we're not selling it to
the Africans. We're selling it.
Yeah.
And they don't speak Swahili in Ethiopia.
This Ethiopia, they don't speak Swahili.
We're telling all the good parts of this movie. Yeah, so it was. So they found something in English to sing that. Yeah, that made a lot of sense. It's like you're selling it you want to sell it to the rest of the world who can contribute money, which is So they put that.
And Willie, what's his name? Willie McCovey.
Waylon Jennings was like, when that Tutu Wainone came out, he said, I'm out. He pieced out pretty quickly.
Yes.
But you also mentioned that it's because they promised him a singing line.
Yes,
they promised
him to do a main line.
And he didn't. There's a lot of like major people who didn't get to sing, get a part and to sing. But I mean, there's only so many parts you can get to a person.
Yes. You like they said.
Leave your canary at the door. Right?
Yeah, leave your canary at the door. And we'll get to you later.
Yeah. So, and I was getting back to the Prince thing, and he offered to play a guitar solo, and they said no. And as much as we know about Prince, and we study or being big fans of his, and I've heard from a lot of his engineers, it's like when he recorded vocals, he would kick everybody out the studio, including the engineer, and he would sing them at the desk. And so I couldn't see him singing in front of a big crowd because that's just not how he functioned.
Especially during that time.
I can also imagine he didn't like the song either.
Yes.
I can see him not liking it. Even Cyndi Lauper didn't like the song.
Yeah. And she got a part.
She did get a part. Which is interesting. Her part is, I like Cyndi Lauper. I think she's cool. She's a cool person. She's actually a really talented songwriter. But it's interesting because she's like winding up, and you're like, oh no.
Her boyfriend didn't like it either.
I think it was her boyfriend manager at the time. She told her boyfriend she didn't like the song, and whoever it was in her management team told Quincy Jones that. It's like, I'm telling you, you didn't need to tell them.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's kind of, that's incompetence. Anyway, but...
Incontinence.
Incontinent. But, and what, true, when she's winding up. The only thing is, like, she's winding up for her part, and you think it's like, oh, no, this is going to be bad. And then she kind of, like, nails it, though.
Yeah,
like, she does. She does. It's kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But then it's like this, she has this kind of, like, controlled chaos. You think it's going to be just off the rails, and she's got it. She's got it down. So Cyndi Lauper's cool.
I would have liked to see Snoop Dogg in there, but they had Willie Nelson, so they had
the weed contingent covered. And well, anyway, they did a remake of the song a few years ago with a lot of rap, with some rap artists and stuff, but it just. Oh
no.
Yeah, it was kind of, this was like a one night only kind of thing. It was.
Well, with rappers, they could have had Willie. What's his name?
Who?
What's his name? Waylon Jennings.
He could have got his part.
Yeah.
I don't know, look up the remake. Anyway, what else? Any other thoughts on this? It was, a fascinating.
It's very, very interesting. The one part that I really liked was I liked a few parts where one of the engineers, he was like starting to make out his list at the end.
Oh, he was one of the cameramen.
Okay, one of the cameramen, and
my nose is running now. I got to get some tissue.
They looked at him and said, "No, this is free."
Yeah, it's like everybody's working for free here.
Yeah. The other thing I really liked is when they talked about Diana Ross.
Okay.
And at the end, she was kind of tearing up and said, I wish this could go on.
Yeah, she didn't want it to end. It was such a good night. Like I said, everybody did for the most part. They did check their egos at the door.
Yes,
although I think it was Billy Joel or something. It's like, there was still some ego. There was still, let's not kid ourselves. There was some ego going on still, but
of course.
But it was cool, kind of like towards when they finished the chorus part. They were all like handing their sheet music to each other and getting each other's autographs, and
wouldn't that be great?
Yeah,
it'd be great to have something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll probably end up on eBay or some kind of like Christie's auction. I'm sure somebody's signed sheet music. But yeah, they remade this in 2010. It was like We Are the World 25, or they had that big earthquake in Haiti. So it was to raise money for that. And I can't see who was. I would love to see who was on it, but I can't.
California veterans.
I think it involved probably Wycliffe Jean of what is he? Was it?
They should have had the braid about
the Fugees and stuff like that, because he's Haitian, and there was a few people or something. Anyway, but anyway, that's 20. Look that up yourselves, people. But yeah, interesting night. They didn't want it to end. They got all those people together. I don't think you'll have a group of legendary artists.
I don't think
of that caliber to come together again, because I don't think you'll have legendary artists of that caliber ever again.
No.
You'll have talent. We have a lot of talented people, but I don't think they won't be as mega superstar as a Michael Jackson.
No.
Or well, he's the mega superstar there, considering Diana Ross, and I don't know.
Well, with everybody who was there, it just kind of seemed to
Lionel
mesh together very well. Those who might have been high up, and some considered legendary, other just considered really, really good.
Yeah,
others being.
They're kind of a lot of across the levels. I mean, Billy Joel is Bruce Springsteen. Bob Dylan was there. These guys are major legends. It was another thing I wanted to bring up, that was, I don't know why I was surprised by this, because you got all those singers together, and at one point, to thank Harry Belafonte for having the initial concept inception. They start singing his song, the Banana Boat song.
What do they call
Daylight
that?
Come, I want to go. I always call it the Banana Boat song. So, but they all start singing it, and it was like fantastic choral group harmonies. People were hitting harmonies and everything. It's like, wow, they just did that off the cuff, and it sounds amazing. But it's like they're all pros.
Well, too, what I really liked is that. The sound guy, the engineer, whatever, listening to records that these people have done, and said, "This voice should go
that was
first.
The vocal arranger.
This voice should go next. This voice should go next."
Right. That was really fascinating.
They took it. Well, this one needs to sing in this key. If he sings in that key, he can't be within this group. And they weren't
the Banana Boat the Banana Boat song.
They weren't meshing so that the voices sounded alike.
No, he worked with contrast and all that and stuff.
Very good.
Yeah, very well. It was very smart to do it like that. Mm-hmm. It was like, wow, that was brilliant, really.
Yes.
Really. So any final thoughts on the greatest night in pop?
Watch it.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Don't bring your parakeet.
Don't bring your carrot. Leave your toucan at home. Or your crow. Whatever bird you're carrying that day. I don't know.
Why'd they only give him 2 cans? He had a whole cereal.
You know what they cans? You know what they call cans? Headphones. Those headphones that cover your ear. They call those cans. You can see it on there because everybody got their cans on.
I thought it was the lights were in cans.
Well, that's filmmaking, I think.
No, it's in the Haunted Mansion too.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah.
Well, I'm talking music here. So anyway, yeah, let's roll some of our footage of us there. I've been there a lot. I recorded there. I got a gift of recording one night in that studio. Had a lot of work events in there. I have video footage of Leon Ware, who wrote the music for Marvin Gaye's "I Want You" album. Him performing in there with Ray Parker Jr. on guitar, who played on that original track. Have footage of that. You was hanging out with Bill Withers in there and Marilyn McCool, Billy Davis Jr.
Yes.
We were dating ourselves, but cool nights there. Yeah, it's a cool studio.
It is.
Yeah,
I should have been there with Smokey.
Should have been. But we saw the Revolution.
Yes,
we were like Prince's former band at a charity concert inside that studio.
Yes,
and we were
I got to sing one of the Prince songs.
You got to sing one of the lines.
Yes.
We were so close they held out the microphone to you. Last person who should be singing.
Yeah. They were on pallets and we were standing
right in front of them. Yeah, it was cool, but lots of cool stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a cool place.
Like I said, they let me sing and I can't sing.
They didn't know that.
Yeah, they did.
Anyway,
they know it now.
So we out like the eagle at the door.
Yeah, out like Waylon Jennings.
We out like Waylon Jennings. Tutu Wainunu, whatever. We out.
We out.
Bye.